Can anybody win? I started the idea to build a brand while I was working at a retail store. But before that, I wanted to start working there because I was getting heavily into fashion and putting together outfits every day. I was passionate about it, and the idea to share this passion with others to make them feel more comfortable and confident every day was a great way to express how I felt and give that feeling to others. While working there, my job became creating outfits for other people, and it was something I thoroughly enjoyed. Being able to create a connection to someone through their fashion was very rewarding, and where I was working was a decently expensive store with not the best quality, which got me thinking, why can't I be doing this myself? Which was the initial spark of creating a brand for me. So this kind of turned into me starting to do sketches and putting designs on the sketches, then transferring it over to my computer to start creating the designs. Then I thought that sharing this with people would be beneficial. So I drew up a logo, created some key pieces for my first collection, and then was at a stop. I was like, how do I bring these ideas and visions to life? Where do you go to do that? How will I know if they do a good job? I was potentially going to sink a lot of money into an absolute flop of a product. I knew that on Alibaba, you can get in contact with a variety of manufacturers, but I didn't know what they would be able to produce in terms of cutting and sewing products with high quality materials. However, after countless hours of searching, messaging, explaining, and getting quotes, I finally found a manufacturer and ordered my samples. After a few weeks of communication to understand my vision of the mock-ups, it was underway, and within about a month and a couple slight communication errors, I had my first samples, which weren't inexpensive, but nothing to break the bank. Since this idea was new, at first I wanted to just dive right in, so I bought my samples, which weren't inexpensive, but nothing to break the bank. But then I realized if those samples were not to my satisfaction, I would have to order more, which made me think that I can and should be more calculated to release my first product, and started looking at ways to get funding for my brand. The difficulty I found was wanting to just go, but in reality, you have to be much more calculated and thought out. Not everything's an overnight success, but it's from a series of steps and progress to achieve that goal. So I took my clothes and did a small photo shoot in order to try and gain some attraction and money through pre-sales. I thought if I made 24 to 40% of my bulk order through pre-sales, that funding the rest wouldn't be so bad, as it would be clear that there was a platform to sell my product. So after weeks of gaining traction to have a pre-release, I gained a fair amount of followers and views, but it amounted to one pre-sale, a family member. Even with hundreds of people viewing my website every day and the products, I was able to gain practically nothing tangible and was back to just me, my samples, and nothing else. Then I started looking elsewhere for funding. As much as I knew that if I bought the bulk out of my pocket, I would be able to sell it, it just wasn't a smart business move. And as someone who's just starting out as a business owner, I have to start thinking as less of a salesperson and more of a stakeholder and business owner. Going into a business without many disposable funds is not a smart move. This made me start to look for other ways to get funding, and I ended up finding a startup business loan. This aspect allowed me to understand the realistic business side of creating a brand. I had to create a many-paged business plan, 2-year cash flow, startup cash flow plan, and this gave me a realistic idea of how my business would go if all things went well. It was about a 6-month process from starting the application to actually completing, contacting, adjusting, and getting my loan. I had to create those 2 crucial documents while adjusting accordingly to my representative's comments, open a business bank account, register my business and attach it to the account. Thankfully, that's something I did right away when I started my business, so it kind of helped the process. Then finally, I received my loan and followed up with my supplier. So dealing with the manufacturer had many ups and downs. It is something I'm still dealing with right now. For example, when getting my samples, there was a couple errors prior to shipment, which feel like they may be hard to resolve, but you have to address it as both you and the manufacturer want the best outcome for your product. For me, initially, my jeans did not have any washed effect, which is a pretty important part to me in order to bring the vision to life. Now, however, I've placed the bulk order for all my products. It's been over a month at this point, and I don't have much to show because of some issues. As I previously said, I've just been wanting to jump straight in the whole time, and patience with launching has already been a struggle. So now from the initial vision of my brand, it's been about a year now, which from the outside looks like I've accomplished completely nothing pretty much, making it easy to give up because there is nothing tangible I'm dropping or getting rid of. But it's with the struggles here that I will prove my strength, resilience, and prove the vision of my brand that you can do it too. And it is with adversity that triumph and success occurs. So nobody is an overnight success. You just haven't seen their struggle and the amount of work they have put in. This is my goal, to show people that it is possible and give them the realistic understanding of trying to start any type of personal endeavor. You're going to have to struggle without any reward, making the end goal even more impactful to keep your drive. At this point, giving up would be the real failure, so I have to push through in order to achieve that success, which feels so close, but it's felt so close for so long, so I'm hoping it'll be soon. Right now, I'm about a month away from receiving my products. I'm preparing for a launch, and I also ordered 2 colorways of snapbacks additionally because, well, I might be short a couple items, so I'm also looking for a new manufacturer to produce my denim set. And I will say sometimes it really does feel like it will all work out. I recently met somebody actually that used to do global manufacturing sourcing, so I'm in contact with them to find the best fit supplier for my needs, and hopefully I can have my denim set soon. And I'm planning for my launch by trying to get as much content, advertisements, plans, ideas, and all this ready before my hard launch. I'm grinding to have everything ready for when my products come. Another step I'm taking that typically would not be seen. It's worth to try and tell your story through your vision and ideas. There really isn't anything to lose. Maybe some pride, which is just an emotion that clouds your vision. So I want to show you to take that shot. I hope my story and future steps forward in my brand and business can help give you some inspiration or encouragement to take that chance. And I'm going to keep you updated along the way. Another thing I will say is that embarrassment is difficult. And right now I'm making a video to potentially nobody. But without this step in my journey, then I won't really succeed. So I've been putting all these steps forward and talking about my brand for a year, but here I am from what on the outside looks like nothing, but I know I'm really close to that goal, and I'm really close to having that vision and bringing my brand to life. And I just want to prove to people that it is possible, even though it seems really difficult. And honestly, it has been, and there's a lot of difficulties with it, but it's going to be worth it for me to actually have that brand and hopefully spread my vision to others, because I want to show people that it can be done. Like, everyone that's done it always says this, and it's really easy to say for people who are already in a successful position. But for me, I'm starting from zero, and I want to prove to you along with me that it can be done. So I think it's a great way for people to explore the actual success story without the success part of it, because I know it's going to be a successful brand, and I just want to prove to you with me that it can be done. So if you're working alongside me, then I wish you good luck, right? Because it's hard, and you know that too. And if you come across this video that you're probably looking for some inspiration of some sort, and just stay along with me. And I will say one thing that has helped me massively on my journey is inspiration, and that could come from anywhere, but you have to be willing to take inspiration from things. So if there's anything you think about twice that will benefit you, or you think about it in a way that is in a vision of success or in a vision of just learning. Another thing I've been trying to do creatively is just truly immerse myself. Like, whenever I can, be creating mock-ups, creating content, creating footage, filming something towards my brand, because everything will have value eventually. So just having that ready and being prepared will be very valuable, because I mean, preparation is success, and that's why practice helps so much, because if you don't start, then you'll never succeed, right? You just have to practice to get better. So if I don't start now, if I don't continue practicing until I have something, then it will be much more difficult if I have my product with nothing prepared. So just keep practicing, keep working. I've been trying to really immerse myself into fashion and creating, and it's something that you have to continue to do. I set up a bunch of tools to help myself be creative and continue immersing myself into fashion and into my brand. Another major thing for me has been mindset. So if you are doubting yourself, just stop. Anybody can do it, but the question is, are they actually putting in the work that you're putting in? Probably not. Remove the doubt. Stop thinking it's not enough. Do the work, believe in it. Because if you don't believe in yourself, why would anyone else? You've got to be your first supporter. That's not optional. It's a foundation of success. One thing that is also so valuable when you're starting a brand or a business is your personal brand. anyone can make a product, but you have to make people invest in you along with the product, because anybody can make a shirt, anybody can make a hoodie, even if you think it's really nice. The thing that pushes it past most products is you, and nobody has you, right? So that's one thing that you need to keep with you, is your value and being your own individual, and keep using that to push your brand forward. This will go hand in hand with building a brand. So that's why I've been posting, and I keep posting, and I'm connecting with you right now because this is all part of building a brand. And if I just release a shirt anonymously, why would anyone care, right? And that's what I've been trying to focus on, is just showing people why you should care about my brand. You have to be confident in what you're producing and what your belief is and the goal is, because if you aren't your first supporter, then nobody will care. If you're not going to be the one that's supporting yourself, why would anyone else support you? So you have to show confidence within your vision and within your business, brand, whatever it may be. So that's been something that's been very important for me, is just keep pushing and keep believing. So it's been a year now, and people know that I'm starting a brand, even though it's been a long process. It is something that will happen. So you have to keep that belief with you, because it really isn't about luck. It's about continuing to put those steps forward to keep your momentum to actually become successful. You have to work towards it. So that's pretty much where things are right now. It's been a long process, definitely not easy, but every step has taught me something new. There have been setbacks, moments where I felt like nothing was moving forward, times where I really questioned if it was even worth it. But honestly, it's all part of it. The whole idea behind my brand is about pushing through those moments and believing that you can do it too, even when it feels impossible. If you've been thinking about starting something of your own, whether it's a brand, project, whatever it may be, just start. Don't wait for everything to be perfect, because it will never be. You'll figure it out as you go. For me, I'm big on trial and error, so I just keep trying, and I keep trying to figure it out, and you just gotta keep pushing forward. Every setback so far has had a lesson, and you have to remember that. Every loss is gonna be a lesson, and that's something that it's been hard to figure it out for me. But you're gonna have months where you're gonna feel everything's going so fast, and then months where you're at a complete stop. But keep showing up and keep building on it, and you're gonna have something worth working for. I'm excited for what's going to come next in my journey, and I can't wait to show you everything as it comes. If you want to keep up with my brand and see how things go from here, make sure to stick around. There's going to be a lot more coming soon, and thank you for watching.